Good afternoon from beautiful Brisbane, Australia, and welcome to Complex PTSD TV. My name's Linda. I'm your certified trauma recovery coach. And g'day from Brisbane, Australia. It's wonderful to have you here. And if you're here for the first time, welcome to our beautiful global family where we do life together. I want to share with you some information today around signs of emotionally immature parents. Now, here's what I want you to be able to do. I want you to, first of all, see where this relates to your life, but then from, the parental side. And then I want you to be able to start processing, where does this also apply to my life as an adult today, here, now? Am I still got bits and pieces of this carrying forward into my life? Have I not dealt with this emotional stuff? Do I need professional help? Have I or do I need to change how I approach other people? So it's in asking some really honest and genuine questions that we begin to be able to see what we need, okay? Now, it's really important to remember with the emotional side of complex trauma recovery that we do need somebody else to bounce it around with, okay? Now, if you're really needy, etc., you don't go and, place it all on your friends who have no idea how to handle complex PTSD recovery. That's not fair, all right? It's not fair on them, and it's not fair on you because you don't actually get a need met. We're in a unique time at this particular part of history and of the world where we're actually able to begin talking about mental health. We're at a unique time where we are beginning to talk about and learn about and understand complex PTSD. And we're only just beginning to be able to put language around it and real life understanding and putting together all the pieces of recovery. So it is really super important that we don't walk around going, not going, but expecting others to step in where we need a professional, all right? I've seen this happen time and time again. Now, the family members that aren't toxic are the family members that are going to sit with you, be able to listen to what you need, be able to have suggestions around what you need. They're going to be able to say, well, can I do this for you? Will that help? And they're the family members that are a really healthy part of your recovery. The non-healthy family members are the ones that believe that you need to do it one way, it's their way, and that's all there will ever be to it. So it's not that we walk around saying, well, they're toxic. We don't throw the good bits out just because there are some bad bits. If we've got a piece of fruit and there's some bad bits, we cut it off, all right? But in human emotions, human relationships, if somebody's not being healthy with us, then we want to sit down and we want to have those conversations. If we can teach them something great, if they're willing to learn. Now, this is really the crux of it too, though, is we need people in our life who are willing to learn, and we need to be willing to learn, all right? If we don't have a willingness to learn, then we're not going to get anywhere in our recovery, okay? We're going to reach each different stage of recovery and think, yeah, I've got it now, and that's all I need. All right, recovery is not like that. It's this ever-evolving, unpeeling onion that makes you cry and has ins and outs and different parts of it. And we have to be willing to keep going with the learning, the discovery, the understanding, and so on. Okay, so when we're looking at today the signs of emotionally immature parents, I want us, as I said, to be able to go, right, they didn't do that, but am I doing this? And if I'm not doing this, how can I go about, learning how to do it? That's the big question, all right? So first thing is, emotionally immature parents, they don't try to understand your emotions, all right? So I think of being a teenager and, writing notes to my parents about, pages like this about how I felt, what was going on, and the silence was deafening. There was nothing coming back from them. And even with my children as adults, we sit down and we have very real, raw conversations about how we're feeling and what's happening and where to go from here. So for you, are you understanding your emotions now as an adult? Emotionally immature parents don't respect our boundaries, okay? Are you respecting your boundaries? Do you know what they are? Because unless you do, you can't educate your parents about what boundaries are and why you're doing what you're doing, okay? Emotionally immature parents frequently criticize or put you down. Now, what I want you to think about with this is that may have happened in your childhood. So then when you're going to flip it around, you need to ask yourself, do I frequently criticize and put myself down? Do others in my life frequently criticize and put me down? And remember, there's always a non-verbal context with this as well. So sometimes we can walk into a room and we know exactly what someone's thinking and feeling because the energy exudes out of them as to what they're thinking and feeling about us, okay? So we have to build this awareness. Emotionally immature parents can be highly self-involved and crave attention. So think of a time, even as an adult, when you've gone to your parent and you think, oh, I just want to share this with them. And they're totally unaware that you've got something to share with them and it's all about them. And it doesn't matter how long the conversation goes on. It's still just all about them. They don't even take a breath to think about, oh, why are they here? Do they want to talk to me? They never put in place that the thought process that you could be there because you have something you want to share with them, okay? And we want to also think about how is that impacting me now? So we want to be very real and raw, honest with ourselves. Am I always craving attention? Do I pay attention to when other people need things? And it's not just about the times when you know that you're paying attention that other people need things. And it's not about our people-pleasing phase at all. This is, am I aware that when I'm in a relationship with somebody, and I'm not talking about just being married or partnered, I'm talking about friendships with your kids, with other family members. Am I aware of what I need and what they need, and is it a mutual flow? One of the best examples of this I can give you that's hot off the press is a friend of mine went on a date, and after they had their date, brand new date, meeting someone, and after they came back and they said to me, oh, this is what happened in the date, and went through the whole date. And I said to them, but you're not feeling heard, are you? And they went, oh, yeah, because they were constantly, the self-talk that they had inside them was, oh, yeah, but I'll go and do this with them, what they want to do. Yes, we can go and do that they want to do. And yes, listening to their story, but there was no feedback from the other person that they were actually listening to my friend. And I said, one of the most vital things we need as a human being is to be heard. When we're heard, it doesn't require anything of the other person to do something. So there's occasions when I say to my oldest son, and he's nearly 28, I say, look, have you got 5 minutes for me? And he knows that I just need to go blah, 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 and he doesn't have to say anything, solve anything, nothing. I just need to be heard so that I can process things. So this is what we're looking at and what we're aiming for, is to hear others, but also remember with complex PTSD, it's really important that we are heard along the way. So with emotionally immature parents, did you find yourself acting like an adult very early in life? Okay. Then as an adult, are you finding yourself being the adult for everybody else? All right. So that's the two sides to look at for yourself. With emotionally immature parents, they blame you for their feelings and issues that they actually caused, all right? Now, as a kid, you might not have noticed that much, but as an adult, you can notice it sometimes too in the land of denial. I call it the land of denial. I have a significant adult who comes and goes from my life, and it's always everybody else's fault, okay? So there's no balance. So it's either everybody else's fault and it's never their fault. But with other people, we want to know that there's a balance where we can sit down and communicate what's actually happening, all right? And then the other side of that is, do you blame everybody else for what's happening in your life? Or do you go, okay, what's my role in it? And how can I begin to change that up so that I get to take responsibility and for the parts of my life that I can grow and change and recover, all right? Emotionally immature parents become very easily defensive, okay? So I remember one time with one of mine, I thought I had an open opportunity to sit down and have a real conversation about their behaviour. And, oh, wow, I only said one thing and they were just going off like a frog in a sock about, well, they were being defensive, that didn't really happen. And, so that you can't have that conversation. And for us with complex PTSD, we have to be very honest when we're becoming defensive, all right? We want to do the work so that we come off being defensive, okay? Emotionally immature parents won't be vulnerable with you, so they won't tell you the truth, okay? They won't admit what's really happening for them emotionally. And my mother gets the first in line card for this because it took her till she was a few weeks out from dying till she admitted all of this stuff that had gone on in her childhood that had impacted her all her life. So it took her forever and near death to actually speak up and say, this is how I was treated when I was younger. And that's very, very sad. We want to have those people that we can be vulnerable. So then as an adult, it then becomes your question, have I learned where I'm safe to be vulnerable? Can I learn how to be vulnerable with other people and what that will mean to me? Okay. Emotionally immature parents don't take responsibility for their mistakes. All right. So if you've got children or friends, then if you're taking responsibility and you make a mistake, which we all do, we're all human, we're down in the mess together, then are you able to take responsibility when we stuff up and say, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry from my heart space. This is what I taught my kids too. When they were at odds with each other, you have to say sorry from your heart. You've got to feel it to be genuine. It's got to cost you in here to be genuine that I am truly sorry, because when it comes from in here, then we will change our behaviour, okay? You can feel lonely with an emotionally immature parent, okay, because it's always about them. All right, there's never any two-way connection happening. Loneliness is so common. I mean, it's a worldwide epidemic at the moment, but for us, we can grow up feeling very lonely as children. And I know for me, that's something that I'm still working towards addressing as well. So I'm aware that it's there. I'm aware that that's how I felt as a child, but I'm not sure where it fits into my life at this particular point in time because I've been busy doing other things. So, Rome wasn't built in a day, but we'll get there. Emotionally immature parents, you can feel very one-sided and frustrating trying to communicate with them, and their reactions and responses can be really dramatic and high. They can be overly emotional. They can be manipulative. They can point the finger at you and say that it's all your fault, okay? And they expect you to read their minds, all right? And can I just say that I'm aware of somebody who does that, and it's It's the most frustrating relationship you can ever have with someone who expects you to read their mind, because you don't have a hope in hell of reading somebody else's mind and knowing what they need, okay? All right, so I've given you a lot to think about in today's video. Remember that you can reach out for coaching if and when you need it. Definitely see a professional to get through the emotional stuff, all right, because we need to be able to see different perspectives in order that we can grow into what is our perspective. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Remember to hit like and subscribe and to share around the world, because we need people who are the silent majority to have the education that they need to. Okay, bye.